There is a sentence I have had to say to patients that I would give almost anything never to say again. Your kidney function has declined significantly, and what you have already lost, we cannot get back. I have watched the exact moment that sentence lands on someone's face, the specific kind of stillness that arrives when a person realizes a part of their body has been failing for years without ever once asking permission to tell them. And here is what very few of those patients knew, sitting in that chair, hearing that sentence for the first time. Some of what brought them there was not hiding in a diagnosis they never saw coming. It was sitting in their refrigerator, in their pantry, in the can they opened last night without a second thought. Here is the single piece of biology that makes this so dangerous, and I need you to actually absorb it, not just hear it. Each kidney contains roughly 1 million microscopic filters called nephrons. You were issued all of them at birth. There is no factory restock. Once one is gone, it is gone for the rest of your life. And you can lose 40, 50, even 60% of them before your body sends you a single signal that anything is wrong. Not a twinge, not a warning ache, nothing. The kidneys are the only major organ system in your body that fails this completely in silence. Your heart will complain, your stomach will protest, your skin will show you something is off. Your kidneys simply absorb the damage, quietly compensate, absorb more, compensate again, right up until the compensation runs out all at once. And the foods doing this damage were never designed to taste like a threat. They were designed, quite deliberately, to taste like comfort. My name is Dr. Nicole Harper. Before we continue, nothing in this video means a single meal is dangerous, or that occasional indulgence causes kidney disease. This is about sustained patterns repeated for years, the kind most people never think to examine because nothing about them feels like a pattern worth examining. I'm going to walk you through 5 categories doing quiet, compounding damage in ordinary kitchens. And I'm going to tell you something now that I want sitting in the back of your mind for the rest of this video. 2 of these 5 categories are very often consumed by the same person on the same day, without either one ever being identified as the actual problem, because each one, alone, looks completely harmless. I will name that combination when we reach it. Stay with me. I want to tell you about a patient I will call Marjorie. She was 68, a retired office administrator, and if you had described her diet to me without showing me her actual week, I would have called it a healthy one. She cooked most of her own meals. She rarely ate fast food. She was, by her own description, careful. When her blood pressure became harder to control on a medication dose that had worked for years, her doctor referred her for a kidney function review. Her eGFR had dropped further than her age alone explained. We sat down and went through her week, meal by meal. Not what she believed she ate, but what was actually in her kitchen. What we found did not match the diet she had described to me 5 minutes earlier. We will come back to Marjorie. Because the gap between what she thought she was eating and what she was actually eating is the entire reason this video exists. 5 categories. None of them will sound dangerous when I name them. And I want you to notice that discomfort as it happens. Because that exact feeling, the sense of surely not this is normal, is precisely the mechanism that has let these 5 things operate undetected in millions of kitchens for decades. Stay with me through all 5. The 4th is the one almost nobody connects to their kidneys at all, and it is very likely sitting in your refrigerator right now. County 1. The sodium you never salted yourself. Sodium itself is not the enemy. Your kidneys cannot function without it. The enemy is a staggering quantity hidden inside foods that never once register as salty to your tongue. The salt shaker on your table accounts for a small fraction of what most adults actually consume. 70 to 80% comes from food that was salted before you ever brought it home. Bread engineered with sodium it does not taste like. Breakfast cereal hiding it behind sweetness. A single can of soup capable of delivering an entire day's sodium in one bowl. A frozen tray sometimes carrying 2 days' worth. Processed meat, cheese products, pizza, fast food, crackers, and the pre-made sauces and dressings sitting in almost every refrigerator door. Two things happen simultaneously when this stays elevated year after year. First, the body holds extra fluid to dilute the excess sodium, and that extra fluid raises blood pressure. Sustained high blood pressure is one of the two leading causes of chronic kidney disease on Earth, damaging the small vessels feeding the nephrons and forcing the filters to operate under pressure they were never engineered to withstand. Second, the kidneys themselves work harder, every single hour, to filter that excess back out. A constant overtime shift that wears the system down with no day off, ever. The action. The highest leverage change available to you is reducing the boxes, cans, and frozen trays specifically, not the shaker. Read the label for sodium per realistic serving, not the optimistic serving size printed on the front. Cook from fresh ingredients and salt them yourself. You will still land far below the processed alternative. Category 2. The phosphorus your body cannot regulate. This is the category almost nobody has heard of, and I think you deserve to know about it. Phosphorus from real food, meat, fish, dairy, nuts, beans, is absorbed by your body in a regulated, gradual way that healthy kidneys handle without strain. But modern manufacturing introduced something your body has no regulatory mechanism for at all. Inorganic phosphate additives, used as preservatives, color enhancers, and texture improvers in processed meat, fast food, many sodas, baked goods, and cheese products. These additive phosphates are absorbed almost completely, far more efficiently than anything found in nature, and your kidneys are left filtering an excess they were never built to expect. Across years, that excess contributes to vascular calcification and a slow, compounding strain on the kidneys themselves. Here is the practical problem. These additives hide behind names most people skim straight past: sodium phosphate, calcium phosphate, phosphoric acid, sodium tripolyphosphate, almost anything beginning with phos. The action? Scan one ingredient list this week, the product you reach for most often, and look specifically for that prefix. One label. That single habit, repeated across your kitchen, teaches you more about your real phosphate exposure than any general advice ever could. Tell me in the comments right now, have you ever once checked a label specifically for the word phosphate? Be honest. Most people watching this have not. And category 3 is the one requiring real care, because it touches something most of you consider completely non-negotiable in a healthy diet. If this video is giving you something to act on, tap subscribe. Most people watch this video and forget this channel exists by tomorrow morning. If this mattered to you, 1 second is all it takes. Custom 3. The protein pattern, not the protein itself. Let me be precise, because this is the category most easily misunderstood. Protein is essential. Meat is not the villain. The villain is a specific pattern, significant portions of animal protein at every single meal, every single day, for decades, without variation. When you consume large amounts of animal protein, your kidneys work harder to filter the nitrogen-containing waste left behind once that protein is broken down. Blood flow through the kidneys increases. Pressure inside the filtering units rises. A healthy kidney adapts to this in the short term, but sustained for decades, particularly stacked alongside high blood pressure and elevated blood sugar, that constant overwork contributes directly to the gradual loss of function so common in older adults. And processed meat earns a specific warning here. Bacon, sausage, deli meat, and hot dogs combine excess sodium, phosphate additives, and concentrated protein into one product. 3 separate kidney stressors stacked into a single bite. The action. Picture your plate as a simple geometry problem. A reasonable meat portion is roughly the size of a deck of cards. Half the plate is vegetables. A quarter is whole grains. The remaining quarter is protein, and on several days a week, let beans, lentils, or tofu occupy that quarter instead of meat. This single structural shift has been associated with meaningfully better long-term kidney function across diverse populations in published research. Your kidneys are not asking you to give meat up. They are asking you to stop making it the only thing on the plate every day for 30 years. Category of 4. The drink nobody suspects. This is the one I promised. The one almost nobody connects to their kidneys at all. And the one most likely sitting in your refrigerator right now. A single can of regular soda carries roughly 9 to 10 teaspoons of sugar, usually as high fructose corn syrup. A large fountain drink doubles that, and the damage runs through 4 separate pathways at once, stacking on top of each other. First, sustained high blood sugar from daily consumption drives type 2 diabetes, the single leading cause of chronic kidney disease worldwide, damaging the tiny vessels inside the kidney and allowing protein to leak silently into the urine years before anyone notices. Second, these drinks independently drive obesity and metabolic syndrome, both of which raise kidney disease risk on their own, separate from diabetes entirely. Third, the fructose itself appears to act directly on the kidney, with research linking high fructose intake to elevated uric acid and direct small vessel injury, independent of weight or blood sugar. Fourth, dark colas specifically carry an additional association with kidney problems, likely related to their phosphoric acid content, meaning a daily cola may be quietly delivering Category 2's damage and Category 4's damage in the very same can. The action? Water becomes the default, not the exception. Sparkling water if you want the bubbles. Tea without sugar. Whole fruit when you want sweetness. Never a fruit-flavored drink standing in for it. If a daily sugar-sweetened beverage is part of your routine, replacing it is very likely the single highest impact change available to you in this entire video, higher than almost anything else on this list. Category 5. The pattern, not the glass. This category demands more care in how I say it than any other on this list, because the line between ordinary life and genuine risk is a cultural one as much as a clinical one. A glass of wine with friends is not the issue. The issue is the pattern of regular, heavy drinking that has quietly become normal in far more adult lives than most people realize. The moment alcohol enters your bloodstream, your kidneys are called into immediate action to help process and clear it. Alcohol causes dehydration, which stresses kidney function directly. It can raise blood pressure with heavy or chronic use. It contributes to liver disease, and significant liver disease frequently drags the kidneys down with it. It disrupts electrolyte balance that the kidneys must then work overtime to correct. Heavy alcohol use is an established, documented risk factor for chronic kidney disease, and even moderate drinking, repeated daily across many years, adds to the cumulative load. The action. Less is genuinely better than more, and non-drinking days built into your week matter more than the total volume on the days you do drink. If alcohol has ever felt difficult to moderate on your own, protecting your kidneys is one more genuine reason, among many, to seek support in building a different relationship with it. Here's the combination I promised you at the beginning. Marjorie's Week, once we examined it honestly, contained canned soup used as a sauce base several times weekly, deli ham for daily lunches, and a sparkling flavored drink she had specifically switched to because she believed it was the healthier choice, never realizing it carried almost identical sugar to the regular soda she had given up. Canned soup and deli ham together delivered categories 1 and 2 in a single sandwich. The flavored drink delivered category 4, disguised as a health upgrade. None of these 3 choices looked remotely dangerous on their own. Stacked together and repeated for years, they had been quietly compounding the entire time, hiding behind a diet Marjorie genuinely believed was careful and healthy. We replaced the canned soup base with simple homemade stock, the daily deli ham with home-roasted chicken several times a week instead of daily, and the flavored drink with sparkling water and fresh lemon. At her 6-month review, her blood pressure had improved on the same medication dose, and her eGFR trend had stabilized rather than continuing to fall. She told me, "Nobody ever asked me what was actually in my week. They asked if I ate healthy, and I always said yes, because I genuinely believed it." If you remember nothing else, remember these 7 things. First, reduce processed and packaged foods specifically. Hidden sodium and phosphate additives do more cumulative damage than any other single dietary factor. Second, cut sugar-sweetened beverages and make water your true default, not your backup. Third, reduce processed meats specifically, since they stack 3 kidney stressors into one product. Fourth, moderate animal protein to roughly a deck of cards portion per meal, filling the rest of the plate with vegetables and plant protein. Fifth, drink alcohol thoughtfully, with non-drinking days built into the week as a habit, not an exception. Sixth, be cautious with regular over-the-counter pain medication use, particularly ibuprofen and naproxen, and discuss alternatives with your doctor if they are a daily habit. Seventh, have kidney function checked regularly through simple blood and urine tests, especially with high blood pressure, diabetes, a family history of kidney disease, or an age over 50. Early detection remains one of the most powerful tools available for preserving the function you still have. I have sat with patients on dialysis and watched what it does to a life. The schedule of treatment sessions, everything else has to bend around. The dietary restrictions, the long, slow erosion of independence. I have sat with patients whose transplant gave them a second chance, and with patients whose health never allowed them to be considered for one at all. Almost none of them saw it coming. Almost none of them knew, in their 40s and 50s, that the choices repeated at their own kitchen table were quietly building toward where they eventually arrived. You now have something they did not have at that point in their lives. You know which foods are doing the quiet damage. You know exactly what to do about it. And you know what to ask your doctor the next time you are in that chair. Your kidneys have worked for you, faithfully and without complaint, every single minute since before you can remember. They have never once asked to be noticed. The 7 principles in this video are not glamorous, and none of them will ever go viral as a miracle cure. But they work, quietly, the way small things repeated faithfully always work. The next meal you eat is the first opportunity to start. Take it. One final, immediately actionable detail. Do not try to overhaul all 5 categories at once. That is the fastest route to changing nothing at all. Pick the single product you reach for most often this week, your most used sauce, soup, or condiment, and check it for 2 things only: sodium per realistic serving, and any ingredient beginning with phos. 1 product, 2 checks. Do that today, before you do anything else this video has described, and let that one small, completed action be the thing that makes the rest of this list feel achievable rather than overwhelming. Which of these 5 categories surprised you the most? And which one are you changing first? Tell me in the comments. I read every single response personally. Share this with someone whose kitchen might look exactly like Marjorie's once did, eating what they genuinely believe is a healthy diet, never once asked what was actually in their week. In the next video I am publishing, I am covering the specific foods that actively support kidney repair and stability once you already know your eGFR is reduced. What to add, not just what to remove. Most people watch this video and forget this channel exists by tomorrow morning. If this mattered to you, 1 second is all it takes. This is Dr. Nicole Harper. Take care of your health, and I'll see you in the next one.